Chapter 12. It was too cold for lovers, and too late. A chill November night wind rustled the bushes, rattling azaleas, making the privets hiss. But Simon didn't feel the cold. Ice kissing ice doesn't freeze. Neither did he sweat as he thrust the stolen shovel repeatedly into the hard-packed soil. The lip of the trench was already at his knee. The leather coat lay across a branch. One arm of the jacket swung drunkenly each time a load of dirt hit the trunk of the shrub that held it. Simon's muscles bunched and stained in relentless rhythm as he tore a gash in the earth. Clouds covered the sky, but he didn't need light to see. Even if the witch's moon was high enough to help, he had animal eyes, and the steady pace of his work was the gait of the wolf. He could run all night till it found its prey. The hole came to his waist. He thought of Zoe as he dug, and the pleasure of it spurred him on. The torture of her skin, her human breath, the shadows in her eyes, her fragile bones, the whole ephemeral beauty of her that would fade and die before he'd ever wear one wrinkle on his face. I could cup one of those sweet breasts, he thought, and she'd be gone, before ever the pleasure had stopped singing in me. He mustn't let himself care. He'd spend longer missing her than knowing her. But was it a wonder that he lasted this long without caring, or was it a wonder that he could care at all? Who knew? He chuckled softly at the thought that age brought knowledge. It just brought new surprises. It was sad that Zoe's mother was dying, and sadder that Zoe already missed her. I could tell her, "It's not too bad," he thought. "Your life is short. It's not a long time to miss someone." But she wouldn't believe him. It was all she had. A lifetime was a lifetime regardless of its years. The hole was deep enough. It was ragged and uneven, but deep enough. He yanked the corner of a moth-eaten blanket above him and rolled the waiting bundle down. The finishing touches didn't take long. He threw the shovel out and then, with preternatural strength, leapt after it, defying gravity. He grunted fiercely at the pleasure it still brought. "How much sadness have I caused?" he wondered as he arranged scavenged branches across the pit. Were they miss as badly the people I took to extend my worthless life? He had never thought of them as being missed by someone. He thought of the cruelty of taking their lives. He worried at the pain they might feel, but it never entered his head that there would be pain left behind. "How stupid I am," he thought. "Am I doomed to be a shallow youth forever, as Christopher is a petulant child? What a waste of years, never learning from them, never growing." It was all so senseless, but all part of the same curse. He spread the blanket on the branches and began covering it with dead leaves that clogged the lower joints of the bushes. The moist, pungent smells brought back to him another autumn, the one when he found his way back to his father's house too late. He had peered through the diamond panes like a thief at a wizened, white-haired man who wore great grief and pain on his face like a web. There was no one there to comfort the old man as he tossed and turned on his bed, no son to hold his dying hand. A servant brought in a drink to the nightstand, turned down the light, and left, never speaking once. Simon had stood there all night, his face pressed to the glass. There was no one to invite him in. He could only wait and stared longingly at his father, aware that even if fate gave him a door he could never enter, never tell his father what he had become. Better to let him suffer in ignorance than in the unbearable pain of knowing both his sons damned. Trapped on the other side of the window, trapped in the world of the night, Simon knew they were forever separate now, no matter who it was, alive or dead or dying. He left before the sun rose, his heart as swollen with grief as if it were beating. He had barely stopped being an animal and remembered he had been human once, when he was forced to put aside that knowledge, deny that heart to stop the pain. He stayed close in London, though he never dared look again, and when he heard of his father's death, it was money robbed from a junk that brought the family portrait from a skulking, thieving footman not 3 hours past the burial. The only ones he could love were now dead. He could never care for someone again, and no one would ever care for him. But Zoe cares, he thought, as he tossed a last handful of leaves on the pile. She said she'd help me. No one has ever helped me. Yet, knowing what I am, she'll help. He moved a broken trellis and began shoveling earth into the damp hole behind. Yes, there were still surprises. As the sky silvered before the red sun tore shreds in the east, Simon approached the boarded window of his den. It was there he received a different surprise. Nasty. It slammed into his chest, fear knocking the stolen breath from him. A sheet of paper fluttered on the window wooden slats, impaled with a pin white as a corpse. He ripped it away with trembling fingers and read the clumsy print. I know where you are. Simon's fingers tightened convulsively, ripping a corner off. He fumbled for the letter, reading on. I am tired of this game. You bore me. I can follow you, and you'll never know. I can kill you, and you won't have a chance. No more cat and mouse. No more nice. No more nice to brother. You are a pest, a gnat. No one will miss you. No one will notice. No one will care. Run, Simon, run. You are dead. It was signed Christopher. Too late, Simon muttered. Too late, and crushed the note in his hands. It stopped them from shaking. Maybe last week I'd have run, he thought, but not now. I have a weapon. You don't know about Christopher. Then his eyes widened with an awful thought. Zoe. Did he know about Zoe? Simon suddenly wanted to run to her, warn her, or should he run away? Hide, never go near her again. He turned indecisive, almost in a panic, and saw the horizon tinge pink. I can't go anywhere, he realized with a sinking dread. There's nothing I can do. I'm trapped again by my own stinking disease. He yanked a board away to get inside and slid through, ripping his jeans on a nail. But he can't go out either, Simon comforted himself. Not unsupervised, not during daylight. Christopher was as trapped as he was, and even if he should reach her, he hadn't much strength under the sun. Then another thought struck him. I'm a fool, he said, and slapped the board carelessly into place behind him. No one will miss you, Christopher had written. No one will notice. He didn't know about her. But when had Christopher followed him? Had it been the night after Simon's botched attack, or one of the subsequent nights? Simon ran his fingers through his fine hair repeatedly, unconsciously, sweeping it back from his face. If only he knew. But surely if Christopher had seen him with her, he'd thrown it in his face, threatened her to taunt him. That would be like Christopher. Yes, he thought, sinking down in relief. That would be much more like him. So he followed me at a night I didn't see her. Or found me after, Simon decided. He really doesn't know she exists. Simon dragged the suitcase out from under the desk and stroked the surface carefully, drawing the strength from his native earth. I will sleep, he thought. I will sleep and get strength, and then we will see. But the fear still plagued him as he tried to take his rest. What if I'm wrong? What if he knows, and he's leading me on? What if he hurts her? Tortured by his thoughts, he didn't see the first burning ray of sun slide through the crack where the board didn't fit.